Welcome to the Really Dad Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Ryan. Back at it, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. We're a day late and a dollar short this week, man. We I had a little thing I had to go to yesterday morning, so it's my fault the podcast is late this week.
Work related?
Yeah, yep,
Man, you
yep.
got to quit that job. I'm sick of you working.
Dude, you're telling me, man. I'm sick of getting up at 5:45, 5:30, 5. Dude, well, and that's the one thing with contractors is they start their days at 7:30. So they're up at like 4:30. I'll get texts sometimes at like 5 and I'm like, "Bro, our store doesn't open until 7:30. Like, well, I need you to put this order in." Oh, gotcha.
You're like, all right, I'll do it
But
at 7:30.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But how's your week, man? How's last weekend? How's this week shaping up?
Man, everything's
How's the
going.
how How's that Parisian household doing?
Nobody's sick. Everybody's doing good. I'm back on track with,
Nice.
my goals. I told you I was in a bit of a rut last week where I was,
Yeah.
just trying to, just basically feeling like I wasn't living my life, correctly and how I was supposed to live it and such.
Mm.
Well, Jen and I had a conversation that was she was basically like, what you want is you want to chase this thing and you want it to be convenient for you. If you really wanted it,
Yeah.
you would wake up at, you go to bed earlier, you wake up at this time and you go run and you do this. If you wanted it,
Yeah.
you'd accept that it's hard and do it because you have a family. And I'm like, you're 100% right. That's so true. I do
Yep.
just want it to be convenient for me. And if I want it bad enough, I'll make it work. And
Yep.
if I if it's how do I say this? If it's hard,
Hmm.
it makes it more rewarding anyway.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I know exactly what Jen is talking about. I was kind of with this current position that I'm in, I was kind of having those feelings last year. I'm like, man, I just don't know if this is, I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know if I'm, doing what I need to do. And then finally I'm just like, I'm just gonna just both feet in. We're just gonna make this work. And it's starting to take shape, man. It's taken about 8 months, but it's taking shape. So
Good, good.
yeah,
I
yeah.
had a
So
buddy
I'm glad you're feeling
oh,
back on track, man.
oh yeah, thank you.
No,
I had
I'm
a
just
buddy
I,
tell
I'm
me.
just happy for you.
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I had a buddy tell me about it's just like a metaphor from like a Hindu Bible. He reads the I don't know if it's Hindanese. I don't know how you'd say it. I don't know.
Hindi?
Hindi?
I think Hindi. If
Hindi?
if it's plural, it's Hindi. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Basically, it was about like this monkey who is trying to get this acorn in a jar. When he reaches
Okay.
into the jar and he grabs the acorn, he can't pull his hand out, but he keeps trying. He's trying to figure out how to get this acorn out.
Uh,
But he doesn't realize that because he's so focused on this acorn in the jar, he's surrounded by acorns. And I thought that was like a good one for me. Like I'm so um I just like I want this acorn so bad because this is gonna give me happiness and all this, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But like happiness is all around me and I still
Yeah.
want this thing, you know what I mean? But um not stressing over it so much about like this is the thing that I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And I know too, like and this is I think that this is sad in a way where I think all people that are great, that are that are top of the world in their craft and what they do will never truly be happy. And that's why
Yeah.
they're so great because they're never pleased with what they've done. They're never happy with themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
They're never content. That has to be better, has to be more, and then that's what raises the level higher and higher.
Yeah.
Um, and I just I want to be like that. I want to raise the bar higher, but I want to be happy there too.
Yeah.
So trying to figure that out. And
There was I don't know where I heard this, but they asked somebody had asked Rashad Evans after he had won the light heavyweight title, I think, about at 205. Anyway, he won the UFC championship, and they asked him what that was like, and he goes, honestly, I was a little not disappointed, but I can't remember the word that he used. He just like he it was a very empty feeling. He got to where he wanted to be, and he was like, huh, this is what this feels like. It feels like every day. You know what I mean? Like it was just not the feeling that he thought he was gonna hit.
Yeah,
And
you
so
make the feeling to be different in your head.
yeah,
When I
yeah.
get
So
this,
his
everything's gonna be good.
yeah, yeah, it's just the same old thing. You just got a 12-pound belt around your waist.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Now I'm
And
sure monetarily things changed for him. I mean, he's a commentator now and all that good stuff. So
oh yeah, things happen for himself for real, but or for sure. But um, people always ask if like I'm happy, like if I want to fight, are you happy? And it's like when I win a fight, it's I'm never happy. I'm just relieved.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And when I lose a fight, it's the most soul crushing thing I've ever experienced. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
disproportionate, right? So why am I doing
And
something?
and I think a lot of fighters have the same sentiment you do, at least from just the interviews I've heard and stuff, that where it's just kind of like this, almost like a feeling after you win, you just wash over, you're like, okay, we're over, that's done with.
Yeah,
And then
because
and
you
then
play
the
it out in your
loss
head
is
the entire camp how it's going to
yeah,
be. You know what I mean? And if it ends how you anticipated, how you expected, you're like, thank goodness. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because the worst is that you end up face down, ass up on the canvas. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
that's
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 true.
the
That's true. Hate when that happens.
I mean, dude, I was somebody had asked me about the podcast. This is a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about you and when your next fight is and yada. See if they were. I don't know. I can't remember the exact situation, but they were trying to squeeze me for information. Like I actually knew that like if you were gonna fight, I'm like, no, I know literally what you've heard from the podcast is what I know. And they were like, and I can't remember how it led to it, but basically they asked me, has he told you any crazy knockout stories, like him being knocked out? I go, yeah, there's this one about his foot getting stuck in the cage.
Yeah.
And and they're like, that's insane. How did they not flip that? And they were like, I don't know. It's the stuff like that happens, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, that's the only time I've really been knocked out clean. Because that one that was
Okay.
in Miami, I wasn't
Mhm.
really knocked out all the way. It was just like I don't know. It was just, I was still there, right? I knew everything that was
Yeah.
happening. I'm trying to find, my coach showed me this thing yesterday. And I couldn't read it because I couldn't log into my Twitter or X or whatever.
Okay.
Um, I really do hate it. But Matt Brown shared something that was basically he's like, here's 10 reasons why I did not become a champion. And I read them and I'm like, or he
Mhm.
read them to me and I was like, this is literally all but one, everything except for one that I've been saying out loud to everybody, that will listen to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
these are my problems, and exactly the exact same things that he said, and it was like was really crazy. And I want to reach out to him because I have a few more things to add, and I'm curious what he says about them. Um,
The immortal Matt Brown. That and dude, that you want to talk about a legendary fighter. Matt Brown he was at the tip of the top, man. He was fantastic to watch.
yeah, I know, and it's almost comforting, I guess, in a way to read that he feels exactly how I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
somebody, because it really is all mental. It's just such a big mental battle, and he really struggled mentally, and he struggled with confidence.
Okay. That's
Man,
so
this guy,
strange because man, when he hopped into the cage, man, he was an animal.
yeah, he
So to
looked
hear
like
that he
he was
struggled with
just,
confidence,
yeah, 100%. Man, it is shocking how much this guy posts on Twitter.
Matt Brown,
It doesn't seem like the guy that I would be like, this is a guy that posts a lot on Twitter. He does.
he's not in fight camp anymore. He needs something to do, man. So he's hitting up Twitter,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, I guess I'll have
Oh,
to find it for next time. And
oh. So in the meantime, I've been wanting to tell you. So last Saturday we were trying to find something to do, so we ended up going to Castaways.
Oh, you did last
And
Saturday?
yeah, yeah.
Man, we were gonna do something, but you said you were too busy.
Well, well, because we were focused on doing something with. It's the first weekend that we didn't have to do something with somebody else. Like it was
Oh, I
just.
gotcha. That makes
It's
sense.
like we want to do something with just the family because it's just like we're kind. Well, and it's a good thing, and it's. I don't want to say it's a bad thing. It is a good thing, and it's also like more of a time crunching thing because Andrea is one of six, so there's always something going on that side of the family.
Hmm.
And then my parents are just all they have is their grandkids is the ones that I've produced. So they are just like they
Oh,
always are bearing down on us. Like, can we see the kids? Can we see it? Which is good. Like I'm very happy they are involved. Like I'm not bitching about that. It's just it's like people we need some fucking space. Like let us breathe. We want to be, do our own thing. So anyway, we went to Castaways and I still had I'm better now. Everybody's healthy in our house, but I still had a touch of whatever bug I had. And my daughter's like, Dad, come on, come on. So I'm climbing through the pipes, just sweating, dude. And these kids are crawling. We talked about it before, like rats in a tube. They're just crawling over me. They're like, come on, move. And I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna die in the tubes right here.
that's hilarious. It
It
reminds
was
me of
not a good experience.
what movie was like Bruce Willis is in a tunnel. He's got the lighter to guide his way.
Mm-hmm.
Was that just like Die Hard? I can't remember.
I think it's one of the diehards, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the eight diehards.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. So
you're the problem, bro. You bring the hypergonosyphilides to the kids, and they bring it home to us.
dude, it was
You spread the sickness, bro. You're
yeah,
down
but
there
you
in
know
the
what?
red
I
tubes.
In the red tube. Well, see, and my daughter got sick for like 2 days at the beginning of last week, and then she was done. And my wife didn't get it. The baby didn't seem to get it. It was just me. So I don't know what I had, and who knows? Maybe I was just not sleeping enough. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
probably.
so that was. I got home, and Andrea's like, "You want to go lay down?" I'm like, "No, I'll get the grill fired up. I'm not gonna just bitch out on the rest of the evening with the family. I'll tough it
Yeah.
out." And passed out at like 9:30. Just
Hmm. That was nice. She let you take a nap.
Well, she woke me up. She was like, "Hey, the show's still going." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Let me wake up." Yeah, we're uh we're currently watching the new season of Reacher with
Oh,
that
okay.
handsome bastard. It's just so
He
it is
makes
so demoralizing
he makes me
watching this
insecure.
guy.
Can't watch it.
Dude, I hate it. And you know what? My brother and I were talking on the phone the other day because I like Andrea for a long time is like, I don't have a celebrity crush. Like, there's somebody who, like, I look at her, I'm like, ah, she goes, and she's like, Mark Wahlberg's cute, whatever. But this guy has come
Mark
onto the scene the
Wahlberg.
last couple of years.
What the fuck?
Well, she said he's cute. It's not like anything that she's like, he's just kind of cute. So, because this was a conversation, I don't know, a couple years ago with my mom and my aunts and my girl cousin. They were like, "Who's your celebrity crush?" And she's like, "I really don't have one." Well, this guy is for sure her celebrity crush because I was talking on the phone to my brother the other day. I'm like, "Hey, dude, have you seen the new season of Reacher?" And my wife's head snapped around the corner. She's like, "You guys talk about Reacher?" I'm like, "Get back to folding clothes. We don't need get your dirty little mind back." Oh man,
he's he's
it's
just like he's such an alpha male.
yeah. Well, and that's what like
This
I'm
guy.
like, okay, clearly he's just so jacked. Like, who wouldn't be want to look at that? Like, I see it, I'm like, let me see what
Oh
he's
yeah,
working with here.
perfect face.
Yeah, but I'm like, so what is she goes, he's just so masculine looking. And I was like, that hurts my feelings. But
Emasculate.
okay, I get it.
Who said?
Yeah, he's masculine looking.
Yeah, he is.
Don't make yourself feel bad looking at him this morning. It's too early to make yourself feel bad.
Yeah, he might be my celebrity crush.
Dude, he's hot. I don't even know what to say about it. What is it? Alan Richardson? Richardson?
Alan, mm, Alan Richson,
Yeah,
bro.
handsome bastard.
He's got a weird last name though.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be Richson. It's hard to say Richson.
Well, and I give him props for being in the celebrity Hollywood meat grinder. He's been with his wife for like a really long time. So I'm like, okay, good for you, man.
Oh,
That's
isn't that
good to
make you
see.
feel better? He's married. He's like,
Yeah,
you don't even have a chance, girl. He's married.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's yoked.
Oh,
You know, the
dude.
hard part is
Well,
like I like to look like that, and I 100% could just because I have this frame for it and these
this bone density.
bones
Are we
and
gonna
the
do
bone
this again?
density. Exactly. Um, but like you have to get on juice. That guy's on stuff. You know what I mean? There's an
Hmm.
impossible to get that way without being on juice.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Having a big frame like that, you know, it's really funny. He's not as tall as you think he is. He's only 6'2", 6'3".
Oh
They make him look even more massive,
yeah,
but
I'm taller
he
than him.
has the frame obviously to be big and muscular. But man, when you get on the right supplements, it's yeah,
Oh yeah, 100%. You got the money to somebody to
yeah,
check your blood work and
yeah.
get all your stuff perfect.
Dude, we have a friend that we go to Hamburg Fitness with, and he is in his late 40s, and he looks like that, but my height. And and I've, for years, I would say for 2 years, I'm like, hey man, what are you eating? Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's on something. But I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to tweak my diet, trying to get him to like be forthright about what's going on with him. And so Andrea told me that just before she left for to have the baby, she was at the gym and they were walking on the treadmill and she was just talking to him, and he admitted to her that he was on stuff. And I'm like, did you ask him what he was on?
Ah,
What is he using? And she goes, no. I'm like, oh, that's what I want to know because that's what I would like to do. But
hmm.
apparently he's, but apparently he's has the doctor regulating it all. So I mean, I guess the common man could do it. I mean, he's a roof salesman.
Oh yeah, 100%. We just
So
need to get some of his DNA so we can get it examined.
yeah, exactly. Dude, we need to just go to that men's health clinic and see what kind of peptides they can shoot in our ass.
That men's game men's or was it game
Yeah,
men's?
gay men's.
Game game day.
We don't want anything shot in our ass there.
We got a little extra testosterone for you. Gotta take
Yeah.
a shot in the ass.
Oh no. Oh
Um,
man.
I had a buddy have a bad experience there already.
Oh really?
Yeah, not really like
Oh, hold on. There you go. Sorry, you were frozen for a second. I just
oh,
want to make sure we didn't.
not
But he had a
really like
back.
bad experience, I guess. But like he wanted to know, um, like they didn't give him his T levels, and they wanted to. Actually, I forget. I forget exactly what his complaint was, but I can find out and I'll ask him and I'll message you. But I was kind of bummed
Okay.
because I was like, oh, new business. I see their thing out there, and
Yeah.
people are already having bad experiences. Stinks.
Well, and you know what? Wait, I don't know if like I don't want to get on steroids. I don't want to mess with my testosterone because my levels are good. And even HGH scares me because, yeah, it gets your muscles big, but it also grows your organs. That's why you get that like those power lifter guts because
Oh
their
yeah,
organs are also growing too.
your
But
forehead.
yeah, just a big old honker.
Yeah.
Um, but I want to check out some peptides because I was listening to a guy talk about some of the peptides he was on,
Uh,
and he said that like previous injuries that have still plagued him, he goes, they're just non-existent anymore. It just goes away. Like he had trouble with his knee or like an old hamstring injury, and I'm like, that's what I'd like to know because I have so much scar tissue in the back of my left leg that 3, 4 times a year, Andrea would take her elbow and just like bust it up. It hurts, man. I'm just
hmm.
looking to get rid of some of the nasties.
I got a friend that he is from Howell, and he has a
Okay.
page, and his page is all about talking about steroids, what they do, what the side effects are of each one, of peptides, of everything.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and he's what do you call that? He's like at a bodybuilding, like a professional where he gets paid to be a bodybuilder.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, and it's cool
That's
because
cool.
like he'll be completely honest about them, his experience and all that stuff, and then he will have other people on and debate them on stuff, and
Okay.
he's, he's
Is
got a
he doing like the more plates, more dates guy?
I don't know that
Have you
guy.
heard of that? Oh,
More
he's been on Rogan a few times, but I follow him. His page is dedicated to like people are like, "Oh, this guy's on steroids," and then he just looks at them and kind of just makes his best educated guess because he was in the bodybuilding too, so he kind of knows what people on have been
Oh,
on stuff like that.
yeah, this guy's massive. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Bro, you know that one guy, he's like the biggest well-known bodybuilder ever. He runs this huge YouTube and everything. He lives in Brighton.
Oh,
What's
I
his
wonder who it is.
uh what is his name? Oh, actually, you know what? I remember his wife's name. Let me look her up real quick. Because his wife's a doctor too. He does the RP strength.
Okay.
His name is Mike, Dr. Mike. Hold on, where is
Uh,
Israel? Like,
Israel. That name sounds familiar.
yeah, I mean, like, he comes to SFS sometimes. His wife was just
Okay.
at SFS. But he has
Okay.
like I don't know, he makes a ton of money because he runs a bodybuilding website and then he does YouTube and he's got millions and millions and tons of people watching those. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But so
Yeah, send
interesting.
it to me because I
He's just a big muscle meat ball.
well, because I'm not looking to get like obviously everybody's goal when they're working out is to be jacked. They want to look good, but like that's secondary, very secondary to it, like wanting my body to feel better. Because I'm not saying that I'm some injury riddled person or like I have the worst injuries ever or this. I just want my body to feel a little better. Like you know, you and I are on the back edge of 30 here, man. We're gonna hit 36 this year, and I'm starting to feel things that I haven't felt before. And I'm like, if we can get rid of some of these older injuries, it would probably make my body feel better.
Yeah, I think it's the closest thing that we can get to a fountain of youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
You
I'd like to definitely look into peptides more because I hear so many good things about them. It's like, okay, what is the negative of them then? Because there's got
right.
to be, there's got to be. So, my hair
I
doesn't look
think
that bad this morning. That makes me feel better.
so. Like one of the things that one of the things that he was saying about like at least one peptide that's popular. He's like
Yeah,
he's like if you're gonna do this, here are the side effects with it. At that rate, you're better off to do testosterone straight because it's you get the same better results for less side effects, and it's
oh,
going to
okay,
be
okay.
cheaper because peptides are like expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's the other side thing I've heard is they're not cheap. So,
yeah,
hmm.
what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I was just thinking about this because I was thinking because we were talking about Fountain of Youth, and I was
Yeah,
thinking about like AI, how crazy AI has become, and like
yeah,
Chris, my coach Chris was telling me about this because he's like on Twitter or X and he watches all this stuff and he's like way up to date on that stuff more than I am. But he was telling me about
yeah.
how like we've advanced so many things over like 20 years of like with AI faster than we anticipated, and AI
Yeah,
is actually making with the materials we have on the planet showing us how to make new material. You know what I mean? Like new
that's
steel, new
pretty
metal,
cool.
new substance of like building material.
That's
And
pretty sweet.
I know, and it's interesting how like with AI, our odds of going into deep space have just increased significantly, right? Because it can
Yeah,
do math problems. Like it can maybe figure this stuff out. Maybe it can figure out how we can live forever. You know what I mean? It just takes the data,
yeah.
everything that we have, and it runs can run virtual simulations, run a
Okay.
simulation 10,000 times, what happens in the 10,000 times, you know what I mean? Just boom, 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 all these
Basically doing like trials so we don't have to do the
exactly,
trials ourselves.
exactly,
That's pretty
trials.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, you think about space travel, like, how much math is involved because, like, if I'm gonna send a rocket or any something at this time, you have to
Yep.
factor in so many moving parts that are crossing each other, so
Oh
many
yeah.
things that are happening in space. Like, this AI is gonna be able to, can do it instantly for millions of miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be
Yep.
like, "Yeah, no, send it at, like, 3:34 PM. You're good. Gucci." Not gonna hit a
You're
thing.
Gucci.
Yeah.
I, I am not necessarily against AI. I just think that my worry is the weaponization of AI and what people can do with it who aren't trying to use it for the good of humanity. You know what I mean? Like it gets into it's that evil supervillain. It falls into the wrong hand situation, and you're just like, ooh, like so. How do we mold it to keep it in this tight box of like, okay, we're going to use this to help ourselves without it leaking out to people trying to use it for nefarious purposes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Because 100%
But
you can do that.
yeah. Well, and then also everybody's always worried about the Terminator situation, which I think it's got to be in the back of everybody's mind of like, okay, so what happens if AI is like, nah, we don't need you. Your organic bodies. You know what I mean?
Don't you think, like, the
But
different AIs would fight each other, though?
I mean, if they're that smart, you think you'd want to go after the smarter being, But I don't know. I mean, we're the ones running the world right now, so
Have you ever seen the movie Maximum Overdrive?
no. But I've heard about it. What's that about?
It's a Stephen King movie. It's basically like this asteroid passes, maybe, I don't know, comet maybe, passes,
Okay.
close to the Earth, and in that time, it makes all the electronics come alive, and
Oh wow.
they're killing all the people, and, and a lot, the semi trucks are the big ones that are kind of running the show, these big rigs.
These massive semi trucks.
Yeah. And then they realize that they need gas to run, and they can't pump
Okay.
the gas themselves, so they're, like, trying to get the people, like, "We're not gonna kill you, but you gotta put gas in the trucks." Bro, it's a classic, I love it.
That's Mac. I'll have to check that out because we have a well, my daughter's going to my dad's house on Saturday. Dude, it is so funny. And I'll get back to what I was going to say. It is so funny seeing my dad as a grandfather versus remembering him as my father, because it is just, my dad wasn't mean, he wasn't abusive, but like, I mean, he was tough on us, like, and probably should have been. I mean, we're a bunch of couple squirrely boys running around, but I'm just like,
Mm.
he is just the softest old plum in the world. Now, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You're my my daughter's like, Pops is the best. I was like, should have seen him when we were kids, man.
You're like, "Hey,
But I mean,
your
it's
pup's a dick. Deal with
yeah, no, and I love my dad. It's one of those things that like you're different. I would imagine I'll probably be different as a grandfather versus as a parent because as a parent you're molding them, you're trying to get them ready for a world, whereas the grandparent you're like, come have fun. Here's a bunch of sugar. Go home.
it."
You know.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
anyway,
and, like, you think about grandparents, like, they're not with the kids all the time, they're recharged.
yeah,
They've had
yeah,
20 years to recharge. You know,
yeah,
us,
exactly.
like, you're with the kids all the time, and you're just drained, like, they're constantly, "Dad, mom,
Yeah.
dad, this, that," and you're like, you just at your wit's end, bro. If you had some
Yeah.
recharge time, you'd be like, "Let's go," all the time.
Dude, I was laughing though, because my dad, my any I don't know, any little thing my dad just has to tell me about because so this is last week. I was talking to him and he's like, "Hey, I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, I had to correct Gianna. I'm like, okay, well, good. Like you should feel like you're able to do that. He goes, yeah, I just kind of felt bad about it. I was like, well, you didn't like hit her or anything. He's like, no, 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 no. I did. He goes, but we were wrestling, and I go, come on, like trying to amp her up, and he goes, she hit me with a right hook, just boom, and I
Uh,
was like, oh, and he goes, yeah. So I just kind of sat back. I'm like, you don't do that, and he goes, she just broke down and started bawling. He goes, and then I'm feeling bad. She runs to, my stepmom. And it's funny. They're not grandma and grandpa. They're pops and steppy, which is I thought it was really funny
that is
because
funny.
I call my dad pops, and then I've called my stepmom steppy. It started off as a joke, and
Uh-huh.
she it just stuck. So she runs back up, Steffi just crying, and my dad's like, I'm feeling horrible. I'm just like, Dad, you did what you were supposed to. Move on. It's okay. You didn't. She's not
Uh-huh.
gonna be scarred for life. You got to set those boundaries. You can't let her just give you. He goes, but man, she hit really hard. I'm like, yeah, she hits, man. You gotta watch out for her.
So funny.
But yeah, dude, it's funny seeing that transition from dad to grandpa now. I tease him sometimes. I'm like, you're just getting so soft. He's like, I'll beat your ass. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever.
So tough.
Yeah, but no, I'll have to throw Maximum Overdrive on our list because we're trying to find a couple good movies to watch this weekend when she's at grandpa's house because it's so funny. Like before we had a second child, or even, we'd be like, hey, let's go to the bar, or let's go out to eat. Now we're just like, the house is quiet. Let's just put on a movie and
Yeah.
sit down.
Yeah, I mean, it's an older one, but it's
Yeah.
cool. I like it.
We watched one around Halloween. I think it was Stephen King. I can't even remember. Or I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but it was just kind of a weird old movie. So we don't have a problem watching old movies. We love them. It's, every now and then we'll throw a good 80s movie on.
Oh, what
But
were you gonna tell me what movie it was?
no, I can't remember the name. I'll have to ask
Oh,
Andrea.
oh, okay.
I'll text it to you. It's definitely a Stephen King one. It's strange as shit though. It's a weird one.
Do you know what it's about? Remember what it's about?
It's about a book. I bet I could find it really quick. It's about a book series that this person writes, and it makes the uh, the people who read it kind of go crazy. And so this guy goes to and like investigate it. Oh man, let me see if I can find it. I don't even know what I want to search.
Ooh,
Um,
that kind of reminds me. I know this is not it because I don't believe this is a Stephen King movie, but The Ninth Gate. Have you ever seen that one?
mm-mm,
Oh, I
no.
I don't know if you probably don't like demonic movies, do you, or devil movies?
No, no, I usually shy away. I'm not a huge fan of them.
This is not necessarily
And I'm listening. I'm just also gonna
not
scan
necessarily a
this list
devil
really quick.
movie, I guess, but well, basically what it's about is there are there's a collector of a book collector, and he
Okay.
collects all books involving the devil and anything in history of the devil. And
Okay.
um the main character, who is Johnny Depp, he is a person who um he knows book values, and he goes to people and he praises their books and stuff like that, and he
Okay.
finds books, and then he's a little bit of a shyster where he'll go and underbid them and then buy them and then resell them, and but he's
Okay.
very knowledgeable on the value of books and finding rare
Okay.
books. And this professor, he has a book that was supposedly written by Lucifer himself, and but he knows there's two other copies in the world. Have you seen it before? Does it sound familiar?
It sounds familiar. I don't know if I've seen it though, but I feel I've seen so many Johnny Depp movies. That man doesn't miss. But
Yeah.
man, this sounds so familiar. Keep going though, because I feel like I've seen it though.
With the book, supposedly, you should have the power to open the ninth gate, which is a portal to hell. And
Okay.
but only the original book is the one that can do it, and there's two other copies. So this guy wants Johnny Depp to go out and find the other two copies, the other two owners, and
Okay.
authenticate his versus theirs. And it's just like a lot of
Okay.
creepy stuff happens along the way as he's doing it, and um, it's just
Dude, God, I feel
it's a
like
fun.
maybe I watched a trailer for it. I man, that does sound super familiar though.
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
necessarily.
so I'm gonna find this movie for you because Sam Neill is in it, the guy from the original Jurassic Park.
Oh, really?
It's a it Yeah, it's old, like it's old, but it's really really good.
Bro, I
Oh
love
gosh, man,
Jen
this
doesn't
dude's been in
understand. I will
everything.
sit here in the dark by myself and watch scary movies and just try to scare people. I love them.
Okay, let's see. Um, No, not that one.
I love vampire
Oh,
movies.
this is gonna drive me nuts if I can't find this. Um, oh, this is probably making for a horrible podcast. Uh,
You can cut it.
oh, yeah, we can always cut it out. Um, where the hell is this?
Maybe it's
In
not
the
Stephen
Mouth of Madness. In the
King.
Mouth of Madness.
Oh, never heard of it.
Dude, good movie. It was like I said, it's old, but yeah, so he goes to investigate this writer, and it's all you gotta. It's a good one. In the Mouth of Madness.
Did you no, I'll check it out. It sounds good.
Yeah,
One of what was it? Like a Stephen King movie, The Shining. Have you seen The Shining?
yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
Apparently Stephen King hated the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't. See, I've not read any of his books. I've seen a lot of his movies. I need to read more in general. But did you know that he was like drunk for most of the books that he wrote?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like a raging alcoholic.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and then
I,
I
I wish
guess
I
the
was
knock
that
on him is,
artistic when I was drinking.
oh God, I know. I'm usually people are just trying to keep my shirt on. They're like, "Don't take your shirt off." I'm like, "I'm gonna do it."
I'll do that.
Um, but I guess the biggest criticizing of his later works is like he wasn't drunk. It's not the same. I'm like, man,
Uh,
that would suck so bad. It's like people are disappointed that you're
they
not
don't
drunk while
they
you're
don't like the
writing.
sober version of you.
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
what
yeah.
was I gonna
They're
say?
like, go back to drinking.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's like it's like In Flames. You probably don't listen to metal. It's just like a band, but they will go to a
no,
cabin and just them and the band, and they'll get kegs of beer and food and stuff like that. And they won't leave till the album's done.
that sounds fun.
It does.
That sounds like a
It's
party I
just
would do.
you and the boys fucking get drunk and
Just get hanging out, getting drunk.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I wonder what it is for some people that opens up that creative mindset when they're either drinking or smoking pot or whatever. Because I've done obviously I've drank, I've done some weed, I've even done mushrooms. I've never had any of those creative doors open for me. It's just
I
always
wonder if it's they're already creative and it just
that's
lets
probably
down some doors for them. You know what I mean?
that's probably what it is. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Because I'm a rigid-minded person. I can't I can't draw. I can't do anything, man.
Yeah, I don't think I'm very artistic either. Just with
I,
punching. I feel like in fighting I'm artistic. I'm a mixed martial artist.
yeah, yeah.
Mixed martial,
That's
mixed
something. I mean,
martial artist.
I got the gift of the gab. I can make friends with anybody, so I guess that's a form of art.
Yeah, he's an
Uh,
artist in the way he sells air conditions.
dude, I will say it was kind of yeah, I had a feather in the cap moment. We had a big like sales meeting thing where they brought all these people in to like show off new products to us and this and that. And like I knew them all because I used to work with them all. And this guy randomly popped into the dinner that we were at. He wasn't able to make the conference, but he stopped and said hi as he was going home at the dinner and just kind of said hi to us and came up and gave me a hug and just kind of waved to everybody else. And the one guy sit next to me goes, "How the fuck do you know that guy?" I'm like, "I know everybody." He's like,
Uh,
"Bro, you literally know everybody." He goes, "It's annoying." He goes, how do you know everybody?" I'm like, "I just talk, man. I just talk and
yeah,
people either like me or they don't." So I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you got a
But
very welcoming face. You know,
oh,
what I mean,
thank you.
you just look like a nice guy.
I also look like the the kind of guy that would give out money on the street. I get a lot of homeless hit ups, man. They're like, hey, which I'm a sucker, man. I can't help it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
If I got spare change, I do it.
It's hard. My dad always told me, he was like, "Don't give those people money." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I try not to, but it is hard. And then I
Yeah,
think about like, I'm like, what is this guy gonna do with his money? He's probably gonna go buy liquor. But
yeah,
like if you're a drinker, you got to keep drinking.
yeah,
Like that's how it
yeah,
works. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's one reason why alcoholism is so dangerous too. It's like it's the only, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe it's the only substance that you can die from the withdrawals.
We'd have to. we'd have to fact check that.
Fact check it.
Uh, I feel like what is that other one? I feel like there's something else that you can die from the withdrawals. Maybe I mean, and that actually that might be true. I'm not quite certain. I feel like there's something else that you could because I know that well, and I guess it's more specifically babies, but like babies who are born from moms who are drug users, they have to like basically wean them off, which is really sad.
That is really
I,
sad.
I had a guy that I used to work with. He ended up getting his niece, and his sister was like like I can't remember what she was using, but I think heroin actually, and they had to like not give the baby heroin, but they had to do something like that that stimulated the same thing to like wean her off. That it was like done by doctors to like help her, and then he's like at some point they had to go cold turkey, and he goes those that 2 weeks was like really rough. Like she didn't stop crying for basically like 2 weeks.
I know. Can you imagine a baby just like wants heroin? Heroin, I need it.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, and he goes, but we're through it now, and I'm like, oh, that sounds. I mean, that's rough, dude. That's rough.
Yeah, yeah. That's
But
crazy. I don't even know how you take heroin. Is that you can inject it?
yeah, yeah. People stick between their toes or their fingers and shit like that to hide the needle track on it.
Oh, I've heard that. The behind the needle tracks.
Yeah. See, you know, there are very, very few drugs that I would ever try, and heroin is not one of the ones. Like, if I have to inject, I'm already afraid to get a shot. Like, I am terrified of getting shots. Ever since I was a kid, man, nope, I don't like needles. So, yet I have a bunch of tattoos. I don't know. Go figure. But
Yeah. My my
I don't
my
know.
thing is I don't like blood taken from me. I'll get a shot, but I don't like blood drawn.
Do you pass out?
No, I get really like I'll start talking really fast because I want to distract it, and then oh, how are you? Yeah, I know I'm good. Yeah, we're gonna do this after here, and blah 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 blah. I'll just start talking like ridiculously fast and not really having a conversation at all. Just you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I do
You
not
just
want
talking to talk.
them just talking to talk because I don't want to think about the idea of blood coming out of my vein, dude. It's weird.
Dude, I wish that was my response. I pass out. Not
Really?
every time, but I would say it's a 50-50 shot. And so I quick little funny story. So I had to go in to get some blood drawn, and I told the lady, I'm like, hey, do you mind if I lay down while we do this? Because I don't know, I could pass out. And she's like, dude, you're gonna be fine. I'm like, okay, but I'm letting you know that you're gonna have to catch me if I pass out. She's like, you're gonna be totally fine. You're not gonna pass out. So I'm like sitting on this. It's like a regular old doctor's table, and it's against the wall. So I lean my body back as like comfortably as I can against the wall because I'm like,
Uh,
I just can't take the risk. And so she starts drawing the blood, and my vision just goes, "Ooh," and I can feel my body just start to sag like this.
uh,
And so, like, right before I passed out, I hear her go, "Oh my God, Mary, get in here!" And the next thing I know, like, I'm like on my side,
oh my
just
God, Mary.
totally.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was like, "I told you," and she's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe you." I'm like, "Well, glad I didn't fall off the table. Thank you for getting Mary in here to catch me."
Yeah. Mary's just like this
Oh
juiced
shit!
up.
But
Ooh,
yeah, man.
throws you over his shoulder. I got him.
Yeah,
Hmm,
yeah.
hmm.
I got him. We'll pull his blood from him.
Yeah.
Um, so, do you want to do word of the week? Oh, hold on. Before we get to word of the week, did you hear that they're releasing the Epstein list today? Or they're
Today?
supposed to?
Uh,
Yeah, today.
no, but that's great. I saw, man, they had this, what is it? It's like stakes or something like that, where they're gambling
Okay.
stuff that is not like just really odd stuff. And they had
Yeah.
on there like a gambling list for who's on the Epstein list. And I think like the number one is like Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z. It's been, I don't want to say confirmed because obviously the list isn't out, but I've heard interviews from several Secret Service agents that removed themselves from Clinton's detail. They didn't want to be a part of it
Oh,
because
really?
they went to Epstein's island and they were like, "Oh, I don't want to do this," and so they removed themselves from. They ended up taking a demotion to get away from detail.
Really? Wow, that's
So
crazy.
we
I
we shall see, man. dude, whoever's on the list, burn it all down. I don't care what political party you're affiliated to. I don't care what business you're a celebrity. If you're on the list, man, burn it down. Burn it all down.
Yeah, no, I agree. I I love the memes with Stephen Hawking where he was on the list, and it's just
Yeah,
like I'll have to find some of them for you, but it's just like
I've seen some.
people edit Stephen Hawking like driving around. Like there's this one where they have like these kids beating on him. He's like trying to get away. I don't know, it's so funny, dude. I gotta
Dude,
find for him.
I Stephen Hawking's a weird one,
I
but
know.
but I've also heard things about Stephen Hawking that he was into some wild stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how you could be into that when you can't move. Like it doesn't make
Or
sense. You can't
sit
even
on my
speak.
lap.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you write it off at that point of like, I'm just not gonna be doing any of these things.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, go down a weird road talk about that. Um, all right, all right. Are you did so? First off, did you get to use ephemeral last week?
Ephemeral. Used it several times. Jen gave me like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it can mean something small, a short length of time.
yeah,
But most people don't use it in that. They use it in a certain context of like if something is kind of a fad, like things that are a
yeah,
fad or ephemeral.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, I didn't see. I didn't. That wasn't in the. Man, come on, Google. You got to be better about giving us definitions here.
yeah. So she said that like it's not technically wrong to use it in that context, but people don't use it like that.
I love that your wife is correcting you.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I mean,
Um,
she reads. She's like already. I don't know. She's like 72 books in this year already. And it's only February or some shit. She was just telling me
72 books?
something. She sets like high book goals for herself, and she just reads and reads and reads.
Wow, I can barely read, man. If I got 72 books in like a couple of years, I'd be okay.
I know.
My gosh.
I know.
I
And she'll like listen to books on tape too um
Oh, okay.
when she's not like while she's working and stuff too.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I find myself having the same issue of reading and then listening to books on tape where my mind, like I can read, but my mind starts to go somewhere else. And then the same thing happens on book on tape. So I end up having the same problem where I have to either rewind or reread something. So everybody's like, why don't you just listen to it on tape? It's like, because I had the same fucking problem. I
Yeah.
have to keep going back.
Do you have a hard time listening to people who talk really slow?
Yeah, I guess it would depend on the person. Like if they're saying something that I'm really wanting
Yeah.
to, like if it's engaging, it's a little different. But if it's a real, I know some people who are very, very slow talkers, and when they call me, I'm like, no, 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 and try
My
to take
family
it.
in West Virginia are like that. They just talk slow. You mean it's just not that they're dumb or anything. It's just like it's
Yeah,
just the way they talk is just so slow. And my ADHD, and I think this might be something you're dealing with, is like
yeah,
if you don't give me information fast enough to process, my brain
yeah.
can go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because my
Oh yeah,
it's a constant moving engine. It's doom 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 doom. And if
yep.
you don't put anything in queue, like it's gonna start thinking about something else. And
Dude,
if,
I had him. It's so funny that you brought this up because when you said that, it's the perfect example last night that happened between Andrea and I, where she could just tell. She's like, "You're not listening, are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I was totally listening." She's like, "Then what did I say?" I'm like,
oh,
you
she
caught
got
me."
you. Nah, you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
but
but yeah, I
why
know exactly
reading?
what you're talking about.
Reading, I can't get the information fast enough. You know what I mean? I'm reading it, but
Okay,
it's not queuing fat. I'm not getting a
yeah.
it's just not fast enough. So people who talk slow, it's not enough information. It's not fast enough. You know what I mean? So
You're like, "Come on, quicker, speed it up."
yeah, exactly. I need
Oh,
you to
that's
talk
so
like an
funny.
auctioneer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, we used to do these family reunions, and we had what this guy in our family. He should have been an auctioneer because we would do. It started off as like I can't remember what it was, but like people brought gifts, and then it was a raffle, is what it was, and they raffle off gifts, and that helped to fund the next year's family reunion. Well, then it was
That's
like
what
this.
we do too.
Yeah, well, and then it was like this one guy's like, well, why don't we just do an auction? And he was like, I'll do it. And then we're like, all right, Don will do it. And then he got up there and we were like, whoa, we're like, you have this hidden talent, bro. And he would just auction. We were like, this is great. So
Yeah,
and so after the first year, he did it like every year after that. It was
that's
pretty cool.
amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was, dude, and I mean, you want to talk about one of the funniest moments of every family reunion? It was him up there just pointing at people. Oh, it was so much
We got
fun.
one, one, one. Can we get a two, two, two,
Yeah,
two?
yeah, exactly. It was fun, man. And I still have a little kit from there. It has like nail clippers and tweezers, and I still have it. It's like 20 years old.
Nice.
Best gift I've gotten. Um,
I got this
so
saw
I
blade that has
but
my grandpa painted. He's not with us anymore, but it's
yeah,
just people just making stuff and then auctioning it off, and it was cool.
yeah, that's cool stuff. I love stuff like that. I wish we still did our family reunion, but it everybody's kind of so stagnant now. But
Yeah.
so I did not use the word because I read it in one of my comic books, and it made me feel good that I knew what it was. I'm like, that's good enough. I don't have to slide this in there. I was reading. I was like, femoral,
Oh,
sweet.
really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was in Spider-Man.
Oh, was it Spider Man?
Yeah, it was in the it was he's I don't know. He's like basically Spider-Man in this comic book is having a crisis because one of his enemies showed him all the deaths of everybody that he loves and how it's going to happen. And so he just is like, what's the fucking point? Why am I even doing any of this? And so
Yeah,
in one of his monologues, he drops that word.
nice.
And it feels
Oh.
so good.
What's our new word?
Okay. Stentorian.
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 Yep. Spelled exactly
And
what I
the
thought.
first, yeah, the first definition is extremely loud.
Stentorian. Ooh, that's gonna be
Kids
easy.
are being stentorian. Yeah.
Stentorians.
Um, the uh, the second definition is of or pertaining to a stentor, extremely loud or powerful. So there it is. Loud, powerful, booming, subtle of for giving speeches to loud crowds. So loud noises, basically.
I'm gonna refer to the kids
So
as Stentorians today, and that's how I'm gonna use it. I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'm
look
probably
at
gonna do the
that and
same
see
thing.
if he gives me the or the
She's like the emperor from Gladiator.
exactly.
Wait, now, when you do slide a good one in there, does it make you feel good when she gives you that approval? Abby, it's got to.
It does, yeah.
You're just like, yes, yes,
It
God.
actually reminds me of like 300, where he looks back at his wife before he kicks
Yeah,
that guy in the hole, and she's like,
gives him the nod.
like yes. Mhm.
Yeah, I'll have to slide that in because that's going to be an easy one this week. Centaurian.
Stentorian. You should
So I
you
do have.
You should be like, you're
Okay.
being way too stentorian right now. It's like 7 a.m.
You should have said that this morning when I texted you. You're
Yeah,
too Stentorian through your text.
yeah, I should have.
Um, so I have a fun debate this week. Are you ready?
Yep.
And you have this is so you have the choice of you can either get 3 minutes with yourself. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I do this right. You can get 3 minutes with yourself 20 minutes from now, or 20 minutes. Sorry. Rewind, rewind. So you can get 3 minutes with yourself 20 years from now, or 3 minutes with yourself 20 years ago. So you either get to learn about something or you get to give yourself information that they wouldn't have known.
The past.
Go in the past. Why?
Because I feel like I have enough knowledge now to really set myself up better than I don't know because like I guess because how old was I 20 years ago? 15?
You'd be 15, yeah, almost 16.
Oh man, I didn't think about that. I'm gonna go 20 years ahead. I changed my mind because you can't tell a 15-year-old anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're like,
I'm very torn. Go ahead. What were you
I
gonna
was
say?
just say old like I think about old people telling me advice in
Yeah.
and how like we don't and we don't listen to it because we have to make mistakes for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yep.
just something about that. Like imagine if somebody gave you the trusted advice and you followed it as a kid.
Yeah.
Like you'd be so much
Yeah.
better well off because you're listening to experience, somebody with experience.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, it's not gonna be the same for me. And then you live your life and it's like the
Yep.
same shit. So but I think that I'm at a point now in my life where I do listen to people and their advice
Yeah.
and I'm more willing to take so like I think I would rather have the advice at a younger age than I am now, but I think I would be
Yeah.
more accepting of it now if it happened
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the
I
future.
understand what you're saying. See, and my only worry about going to the future to get those 3 minutes with my future self is what if I get there and there's no future self?
Oh, that's but that's good telling information right there. Well, is it?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, and the other thing too is what if you go to your home and your wife is there with another dude because you're dead and it's just that would be I think my head would implode. I wouldn't be able to handle all that.
She's
Be
with a
like,
guy
okay,
from
so
The Reacher.
I mean, couldn't you blame her though? Can you blame her? I
You'd
mean,
be like,
if
all
I
right.
die, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I get it.
You're
Yeah,
like,
dude.
well, we got 3 minutes. Let's go, big guy. I get some too.
Yeah, just get. Yeah. I thought you were gonna say fight him. Well,
Tomato, potato.
uh, yeah, potato, potato. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think I would roll the dice and try to tell my 15-year-old self something,
Okay.
just because I think if it was me telling me, I might listen because it's not. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
because at that point in my life, at 15 years old, I'd seen every cartoon where like the time travel happens, or the movies where the time travel happens. So I'd be like, if I ran into myself, I don't know though, because then I might be looking at this older version of me like, you're full of shit. Like that's not real. You're not even real. Like you know what I mean? That's a tough
Mhm.
one, man. That's a tough one. I mean, yeah, 3 minutes with my future self to help correct what would happen in the next 20 years probably would be a good thing because it's not like I'm in a bad position now. So
Yeah. You're
yeah,
you're like yelling
it's
at a
tough.
15-year-old, invest in GME. Yeah.
Yeah, Google, Apple, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All these things you never heard of before.
Yeah, what is this? Yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, I think future self. The thought of me not being there in 20 years is a little scary, but you'd have to roll the dice.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see, I mean, that's a reasonable response. I think there's no real
Yeah.
wrong answer in this situation.
Oh, there's a wrong answer. You better choose
You
wisely.
better choose
Because I have a time machine, and this is why I brought this up. Um,
um, I think I'd be worried about going in the past to change what I have now. You know what I mean? Because like
yeah,
it's life is interesting because like there's so many things that don't work out, but
yeah,
all roads lead to it eventually working out, right? Even though your path,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
even though your path isn't a straight path, it eventually always reaches its destination.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, and I completely agree. I wouldn't want to change what I have now. I mean, we're surrounded by women. I wouldn't want to lose any of them. So yeah, that
yeah,
would be, yeah, yeah, man. That's
but then you think
gosh,
about
but
going in the future, like I mean, maybe something changes, but all roads lead to, you know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
might have some struggle. Struggle's
yep,
necessary.
yep. That's true. That's true.
No, 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 it's
Man, I
cool.
just to take $1,000 to my future 15-year-old self and be like, here, put it in these stocks. You'll thank me later. that's all I really want to do. There's not really much, because you like you said, you've got to learn, you've got to make the mistakes and do it. You got to take your lumps and basically learn from them. But
Yeah.
I'd like to have the extra cash. That
Yeah,
would be
but
nice.
life is so uncertain. Like, who knows who you would be with extra cash? Maybe
Yeah,
you
it's
just
true.
maybe you just like fuck your life up.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, what if I got rich and I was just some cokehead? That'd be wild.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think future self is probably the better answer in this scenario. But
Uh, I'd like to have. I'd like to take the time machine 3 minutes in the moment somewhere else so that I could have some alone time for 3 minutes. I just want to.
that is the most.
I want to sit in the machine for 3 minutes and not hit any buttons. All right.
Yeah, I disappeared. I went to the future. He didn't go anywhere.
I just sat in
Dude,
it.
dude, you should get an old refrigerator box, write time machine on it, and then when you need 3 minutes, be like, I gotta go to the future. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Have like a little stool and a Game Boy in there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, dude. Yeah, 3 minutes. That man, just 3 minutes of quiet. Dude, you know what's problem now is though, is when I get that quiet, my mind it works too fast, and I'm like, I don't like all the quiet. I gotta go. I'll have to have like music on or something. I've gotten so
Is,
used to living in the noise.
do you ever feel this way where like you just can't wait to get away from your kids, have some time away from your kids, but as soon as they're gone, you're like, oh, I miss them. That happens
Every
all the
time.
time. Like
Yeah,
what a messed up situation to be in.
I know. It's yeah, it's funny because my wife and I always look forward to when, and it's not because you just
You
as
need a break.
grown-ups, you
You need to
just need some
recharge.
time. You need a break, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, dude, we say it every single time. Like when Gianna goes to my mom or my dad's house, we'll be sitting there at like 9 o'clock, going, not gonna be climbing in our bed tonight. It's a little sad. And in the same vein, the other day we were just complaining like, oh, she's always climbing in our bed. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. But oh, trying to think, do I have anything else for you, man? I'm out of stuff, I think. Well, I guess
You're
I could sit
supposed
and
to
talk
be an
for a long
expert
time.
on organic, and I'm not
Oh,
an
are you now?
expert. I'm not an
Okay,
expert, but I'm much more educated than I was before I said I was going to be an expert, or when I said that. So,
okay.
so
Do you want do you
basically,
want to save your? Oh, go ahead. No, no, hit me with it.
oh, I was just going to say, I was just get some quick info here. You got the
Okay.
Dirty Dozen. You know what I mean? It's like the top 12
Yep.
things that they say that you probably should get organic, just because of the way that
Okay.
they absorb the pesticides and whatnot.
So,
Like
so what is the Dirty Dozen?
I think it changes every year. I don't know. I'm not sure why it changes every year. The Dirty Dozen.
It's called the Dirty Dozen. That's funny.
Oh,
Oh, that's a movie, I believe.
yeah, I gotta type food. The Dirty Dozen is a list of fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticides according to the Environmental Working Group.
Okay,
But basically, number one is strawberries.
that makes
Uh,
sense.
you got spinach, kale, peaches, pears, nectarines. I've never eaten a nectarine in my life.
Oh, they're good, bro.
Are
They're
they?
really good.
Wow. Apples,
Yeah, I like them.
grapes, bell peppers, bell and hot peppers, cherries, blueberries, and green beans.
Yeah, well,
But
those are the most common items that sell at least in the produce section at the grocery store. So that makes sense. They're going to be more highly mass produced, more, they can't lose those crops. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
so an interesting thing that I read is organic doesn't mean there's no pesticides. It means that there's no synthetic pesticides. And they'll often use pesticides that like exist on the earth already that they
Okay.
use. But sometimes those can actually be more unhealthy for you than uh synthetic pesticides.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts. Well, wash your fruits. Wash your fruits and veggies, man. Wash them up. I don't
Yeah.
even know if that does anything, but
Well, yeah, no, I'm not an expert yet. There's a lot of research that says that it doesn't really affect you at all. You know what I mean? But there's also
Yeah,
research that says it does. It's just like a weird thing. And
yeah.
I also think it's just one of those things like you have to use common sense. Like I don't need a study
Hmm.
to tell me not to eat these chemicals, right? I'd rather eat
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I had to choose, I'd rather eat something that isn't chemicals.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, what in 30 years I'm gonna have some crazy tumors or something and be like, oh, well, we
Huh?
did some studies, it was fine at the time, we just messed up. You know what I mean? Like science is things are only fact until
Yeah,
they're not, right? How many things that were
exactly.
a fact 100 years ago that are not even close to being a fact, and things that are a fact now won't be a
Yep,
fact in 100 years because we just learn more.
yep, yep. It's a constant evolving thing. Well, that's it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that, hey, processed foods are bad for you. It's like, well, of course they'd be bad for you. You ever read a nutrition label? There's a bunch of shit in them. But but then on the flip side of that, you got your strawberries sprayed with whatever it could be. So it's like, I don't know. You got to kind
Exactly.
of pick your poison at that point, you
Yeah,
know?
I know. I know, and another thing I said is like, just because they have pesticides doesn't mean that you should quit eating fruit because the benefits of eating fruit it's healthy and it outweighs the minimal risk of eating whatever. So I'm like,
I
well,
don't eat fruit.
you don't eat fruit?
I don't eat fruit.
Wow.
I just I don't know. It's not.
Have you had all the
I
fruit?
think
No,
it.
I just asked you if you ate a nectarine. You're like, love them.
Oh yeah, they are, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't eat fruit anymore. Strawberries taste good. Blueberry, I know that they all taste good, and I like the taste of them. I just don't eat fruit. I let's see. I had a bite of a strawberry last week because it was the last one in the bowl that my daughter did eat, and that's the last time I've eaten fruit.
Wow.
And I can't even remember the last time I've eaten. Oh, I take that back. Andrea made a dessert where she chopped up a couple strawberries, but dude, I don't eat fruit. Like
Huh.
I can't say I can't even remember the last time I've eaten an entire apple.
Wow. I eat fruit right now. I eat it every day.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, we are finding out that I am allergic to a strain of green vegetables, and I can't eat. I basically can't eat them
Really?
because it just right through.
Really? That's crazy.
It is. I mean, and it's like clockwork. It's like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and it's through me.
So
It's insane.
are you scared to eat greens right now?
No, like there's certain ones that I could like broccoli's fine, asparagus is fine. Brussels sprouts get a little dicey. It depends on how much I eat, but I can't eat cabbage. I have trouble with salad. I was talking to my brother-in-law who's becoming is going to become a doctor, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's from this. It's like this type of family." He goes, "That's actually a more common allergy than you'd realize."
Really? Hmm.
I and I don't know if it's an allergy or considered an intolerance. I'm not really sure how that
Yeah.
differs, but yeah, dude. It's
Food people have
yeah,
food sensitivities too.
yeah. Andrea's like, so your body just rejects health. And I'm like, I guess so. I grew I grew up on Sugar Smacks and Captain Crunch, so it's like throw some
Dude,
greens in there, it doesn't know what to do.
whenever I go somewhere where I eat something like really expensive or fancy food, I'm like, this
Yeah.
never tastes as good as like the shit. Like I grew up like Kraft macaroni with cut up hot dogs in it, and
Hell yeah.
just like
Yep.
all this stuff, dude. That's heaven for me. That's that good.
Dude, I love a good bowl of Kraft mac and cheese. I mean it's really hard to beat.
So good.
It's it's so good, especially like when you get your favorite shapes too. The shapes taste different to me. I think that's maybe just a mental thing, but
I don't like the shapes.
oh, you don't? Oh, I love getting like the Pokemon box or whatever is the latest.
No, Eva gets
Love
the
it.
SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, classic,
Yeah.
classic. I like them. It's just the texture of the noodles different to me. I like it. It ends up being a little harder to bite through, and I like that.
Oh yeah, you like a little el dente.
Al dente.
El
Is it?
dente.
Yeah, al dente. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, man, I'm a shapes guy. I am a you know what my favorite candy is Reese's shapes. Give me the Reese's egg, give me the Reese's
Oh,
Christmas tree, give me
those
the
are
Reese's
so good.
turkey. Man. Tough to beat.
You
Tough
know
to
what I
beat.
like? I like the Christmas cake. They're like little cakes, little Debbie cakes, like Christmas tree.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, those are
those are
good.
so good.
Dude,
And
I
it's funny we're talking about like, yes, I don't eat only the finest organic fruits. Oh yeah,
yeah.
mac and cheese. Give me that engineered powder. Ah,
Yeah, just let me bathe in it, dude. If I could jump in a bathtub of that Kraft mac and cheese, man, I'd
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is this fruit
oh man.
organic?
So hey, so actually what we're talking about filters into my dad moment. You want to hear it?
Yes.
So every Christmas and holiday, I've told my parents like, don't give us so much candy. We get such an influx of candy at any major holiday. It's like this is too much. So what we do is we put it in Ziploc bags and we put it in our basement food storage, and then we just kind of filter it out throughout the year and eat it. So my daughter, we're downstairs, my wife and I are downstairs working out, and my oldest is walking around and she looks up and sees, the candy canes that are filled with M&Ms.
Yeah.
So she's like, Dad, can I have some of these? And I go, no, it's like if you want some, you can have some after dinner. Like I'll get you a little small bowl after dinner and we'll call it good. And she's like, no, no, I want them now. And so we get this do this back and forth thing. So then I I noticed and at the previous Easter, she got all these Easter eggs full of the little Smartie things. So we put those in like a little box. So she goes upstairs, sit down. Usually she colors while we work out. Well, she's gone and quiet for like 10 minutes. I'm like, something's not right. So I go up to her room and her bedroom door is locked. And I'm like, you know the policy in the house, open up the door now. And, hold on, Dad, hold on. I'm like, so she unlocks the door and I walk in and I see the box where she got rid of all the evidence except for the box that the Smarties were in. And I go, where's the candy? And she's like, there's no candy. Like doing that, oh, there's no candy in here. And so I go to looking around. I open her closet door, and in her hamper, she ate the entire candy cane of M&Ms in 10 minutes. I swear, dude, I was shocked.
Ah.
And she ate probably 5 or 6 packets of like this big of the Smarties. I mean, just how, and I looked at her and I just started laughing. I was just like, I said, did you really eat all this? She's like, mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, well, you get no treats for like the next 4 days. Like you consumed all your treats within one sitting. So yeah, she was moving for about 30 minutes after that, man. She couldn't stop. So yeah, that's
Supercharged.
my dad. Supercharged. Yeah, it's like Sonic Runner. Oh, dude, by the way, we watched the third Sonic last week. It
Oh,
was
what'd
great.
you think?
Loved it. Loved
She
it.
didn't like it?
No, no, my daughter loved it. Yeah,
Oh,
we
good.
all loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had a little trouble with Keanu Reeves being Shadow though. I
That doesn't
all I could
sound
hear
like
was Keanu
him.
Reeves.
What's that?
I said I just I all I could hear was Keanu Reeves as he was being Shadow. And
It
I was
didn't
like, this
sound like
is
him to me. I don't know why.
well, it was like, well, see, the problem was I'm like, I know that voice, and then I went to look it up who it was, and then that's all I could hear the rest of the movie. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, you looked before.
fudge. Yeah, yeah. So you got a dad moment for us?
Yeah, let's see. Last night, this is funny. Speaking of Sonic, she
Okay.
she has a Sonic, Tails, Shadow, and she also has Knuckles, but Knuckles needs like a little stitch on his nose, or like a little yarn, or what do you call it? Needs to be sewed in his nose, so he's
Yeah.
like over here somewhere. But she wants me to voice them, and this has been weeks now, maybe probably months, where I'm the voice of them. Like here's Shadow, no, here's
Yeah.
Sonic, here's Shadow, and I'm Tails, and I'll do those three voices. Uh,
That's awesome.
and last
That's
night,
awesome.
uh, I I referenced myself with one of the voices, like, "What about your dad?" or something like that, and she
Yeah.
looked at me and she's like, "You're not here, Dad." Oh,
Oh, sorry.
do the voices.
Yeah.
I mean, I only
Dance,
want to
monkey,
do the voices.
dance.
You're not here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Oh,
I've always
Christ.
wanted to be I thought it'd be such a cool job to be a person who voices characters for like an
Yeah.
animated. But dude, I've done this over the last month and I hate it. I just want it to be over.
Dude, those people get paid big money. But everybody thinks that Eddie Murphy made all his money from his prior movies. His bulk of his money was made off of Shrek.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
like he made big money as being Donkey. I mean, same thing with Mike Myers being Shrek. Yeah, I mean, they made a ton of money.
Probably still making money.
Oh yeah, you got to think residuals from the movie watches, the merchandise. I'm sure they have it all in their contract that they get a piece of everything, which is, I mean, insane. And I'm sure that the same thing is happening with the people who do Sonic because I mean, they're gonna make a fourth movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Who, who is the pink girl? My daughter asked me that, and I'm like, I remember her from the video game, but I'm just totally lost as to what her name is.
Amy Rose?
No, 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 the pink girl Sonic that shows up at the end of the third movie.
We didn't see that. Pink girl Sonic.
Oh, yeah, there's like a look it up. Yeah, I think because we watched through the credits and it popped up at the end.
We didn't watch the credits. That's this?
Uh, yes. Well, yeah, that's her, but she looked a little different in the movie, but yeah,
Let me see. Let me type Sonic 3.
yeah. Well, and you also, yep, that's her.
That's Amy Rose, bro.
Oh, okay, okay. I don't, yeah, 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 because I remember from the video game, her name escaped me. She's like, who is that? I'm like, Sonic's girlfriend. I don't know.
I didn't ever seen her. The only game I saw her was Sonic Teams. It was on GameCube, and it was like this
Okay.
thing where you had to like have two characters and you play. I forget how you did it, but you basically
She
played
was
with.
in the she was in the Sonic Game Boy Advance.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. Hey, I gotta roll. I hear the chaos upstairs. I gotta go jump up and help. But
okay,
we'll have to sign off. But let's get coffee maybe next week. I got some more time next week.
okay.
Sit down and have an actual
An
conversation.
actual conversation, yeah.
Like real people. We have to Skype each other. All right, brother. This check us out on oh gosh, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify. That's where the podcast and clips can be found. We're on Instagram, Threads, and X. So come give us a follow, check us out. If you like us, like I said, give us a follow, give us some likes. We appreciate it. And yeah, I figured out how to make our own reels now too. So we're gonna be
Oh,
chucking
nice.
out some good fun reels. Yeah, so we'll be doing that. So stay tuned. And uh, Josh and I are going to work out a date to get the bet squared away. So we're going to see a
Yep.
shirtless
You're
shot
delaying
run. So
because
we're
it's
going to get
starting to
this
get
done.
warmer out. You're waiting for it to get warmer.
That's right, man. I got to keep those hamstrings intact, man. I can't have them blow out on me. So, all right, brother. Well, it's been good talking to you. This has been the Really Dad Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.